All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you till probably about 5 o'clock. You can call in 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. 513-717-5464. Forgive my tardiness, please. Please forgive my tardiness. But I'm here. I'm here. Come on in. Please say hi to me. It's been a rough commute. It's been a rough commute. Maria, good afternoon. Robert, good afternoon. Is this Rick Owens? Good afternoon. Erica Hummins, good afternoon. Terry, good afternoon. Nick, what's up? It's my nephew. When you gonna come over and join me? I don't know. Anthony, good afternoon. Phyllis, good afternoon. Daryl say, what's up? I say, what's up? What's up? Myosha said she's had a rough commute too. You work at home. Scott, good afternoon. Phyllis, good afternoon. Come on, it's Friday. I'm not feeling my Friday energy. Again, it was a rough commute. So I'm not really feeling my Friday energy, but it's going to get there. Wait, is Nick the nephew you used to beat? I never beat any of my nephews. I had to give one of them a whooping once. Tina, good afternoon. Janice, the lovely Janice, good afternoon. Nick say, hey, reach out after the show. All right. Regina, good afternoon. Yo Underwood, why I only see 4 people on my side. Hold on, let's see where you at. You must be in the afternoon experiment room, which is where virtually everybody should be, but we still working. We getting them there. It's 4. What, it was like 1 yesterday, maybe 2. Today it's 4. So we getting them there. Angela Kenny, good afternoon. Ross, yeah, they said you got put in jail, and so I guess now you got a burner account. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do when they put you in jail. You gotta do what you gotta do. I understand. Sierra says, talk to me when you've experienced Boston traffic. It wasn't even necessarily the traffic. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. I was behind, those wide load, and then they have like a car in front of them, a car behind them, and it's like a sheriff deputy or something like that. They were driving 4 miles per hour. 4 miles per hour. And it was on, when you come in off of, I don't even know what that's called. Like you leave in Westchester or Liberty Township or whatever, and you got to come around that bend. So you can't go around them. And they did it at 4 miles per hour. So traffic was backed up forever. Now, once we got kind of around there and then everybody was able to merge on, then it was all right till I got to, right around where GE is. I got around GE, it always slow down there and Paddock. But I was just so frustrated. 4 miles per hour. And so that was probably for about, because, we were all over in that lane trying to get that way. But I'd say probably about 2. Well, it might not be that far, but it sure felt like a long time. And I was like, why are y'all going so slow? That seems more dangerous than, just going like a half decent speed. Crystal, good afternoon. Yo Underwood says, nah, I'm out of here. Stay in the room, man. Stay in the room. Let's see. We got Regina. Say, okay, I'll go over there. It's just a habit. See, what I'm going to do is at some point, one of these days, I'm going to just cut off the regular page, and then everybody's going to have to go over to the room to get y'all in the habit of going over to the room. This one should kind of be a backup. Jason, I saw the email. I was actually going to call you yesterday, but I didn't. I'll call you today because that's like super easy. I really just need to know sizes and stuff, but I'll call you today. I'll call you, sometime I'll call you sometime this weekend. It'll probably be today, but it might end up being tomorrow. Tria, how you doing? David, good afternoon. Let's see. Hold on. Daryl says, I got to give you big props for sticking to your guns and not watching any NFL games. Once again, these NFL owners don't respect black men as head coaches of their teams. That BS they pulled down in Carolina with the Panthers, pathetic. He said some more. Hold on. They hired a white guy as head coach who was fired in Indy over a black head coach who was the interim and turned the team around, going 6-6 and almost made the playoffs. All right. Tria want to know, where is everyone? Look, y'all got to figure this out. Go to the afternoon experiment room. Shirley, good afternoon. Samuel, good afternoon. Yo says the room was quiet. Sierra says it's a little light over here. They gon' get there. Let me see. I really only have like one main thing that I would want to discuss. Scott says, I believe Kaepernick signed today on the other football league. What, the XFL? Because that's supposed to be starting up soon. The afternoon experiment rules sound kind of freaky. That's only because you freaky. You thinking like that. You freaky. That's why Mike Jones married you, probably. All right, let me see. Let me get into this just a little bit. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you had a great day so far. Excuse me. Hope you had a great day so far. Of course, everyone, well, not everyone. A lot of you will not watch it. A lot of people will not watch it. There's some people who just don't care. But a lot of people are waiting for the video, Tyree Nichols. We're waiting to see that video. They're supposed to be releasing it sometime today. They should have released it a long time ago. Thank you, Scott. Should have released it a long time ago, but they didn't. So they'll release it today. I know a lot of people won't watch it. Nikki says she won't be watching it. And I understand that. I really do. Now, somebody like me, I have to watch it. Like, I want to watch it just from the sense of, curiosity and everything. But I have to watch it because y'all know I got to talk about it. Like, somebody got to watch this stuff to tell you what's on it so that you don't have to watch it. So, Sierra says, are you going to live stream it with commentary like you did with Lady C? I'm not sure. Let's get there first. Once I get there, we'll see. Nikki still wants to see somebody getting beat to death. I understand that. But somebody like me, I have to watch it. I got to be able to discuss it. I got to be able to, if people want to call in, because, there's still people, guaranteed there are going to be people, no matter what we see on this video, there are going to be people who defend the police and their actions. It's going to happen. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is going to happen. And I have to be prepared to say, you sound like a damn fool. Because I will have watched it and I'll know that. But here's what's frustrating me. I'll get back to watching it and all that kind of stuff. Here's what's frustrating me most about all of the conversations surrounding this since they've said that they're going to release it. What's frustrating me is all of the conversations surrounding how the black community is supposed to respond. Like, we got rules for how we supposed to respond to stuff. And if we don't respond to stuff the way that they tell us to respond to it, we're wrong. Oh, they're putting plans in place because, they're going to riot. They're putting plans in place just in case they riot. People shouldn't be okay because they arrested them. There ain't nothing else what else you want to see? And all that nonsense. There's so much more to see than just those guys getting arrested and fired. There's actual change that needs to happen in the system. But let's put all of that aside a little bit, just a little bit. So black people, something is inherently wrong with us because we see injustice. We see a man die. We don't see change happening, and we get angry. We demonstrate, and sometimes those demonstrations get violent. So there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with us. All of these people that I hear saying this stuff, well, not all of them, but most of the people that I hear saying this stuff, they're still making excuses for January 6th. Now, look, I know January 6th, for some people, the election of, 2020, was hard on people. It was hard on people. Their candidate didn't win, said that it was rigged with no proof, and that's enough to make you mad. Your candidate didn't win office. Your candidate didn't win. So what they did was on the night of the election, they went and protested at locations where they were counting ballots and all throughout. And they went bonkers. They did some damage. They damaged property. Yeah. People, white, conservative, Republicans, went and damaged property. And then when it was time to certify the election, well, we know what happened. They protested. They had a rally. And then they went to the Capitol and they busted in. And they tried to break into the Capitol chambers and eventually into the House chambers. Eventually they did. They ransacked the House of Representatives. They were violent. They were bear spraying police, beating them. But somehow, something is wrong with us when we see a man get murdered and we say, that's wrong. Something should be done about this. We protest and it gets violent. Something is wrong with us when we do this. Their candidate didn't win. And they took it to a whole nother level. They took it to a whole nother level. They didn't just do it in their cities and in their neighborhoods. They went to the United States Capitol to tear up. We tear up our own neighborhoods. Truth of the matter is, a lot of them stores that get tore up, we don't own those stores. And they take advantage of us in those communities. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying it. So all of this, don't be out there rioting. Oh, they gonna riot. What good does that do? How does that help? It's so stupid. If you can't tell, I've been listening to some right-wing radio. I just like talk radio. I listen all over the dial. But they're talking about how stupid black people are for rioting. Now, keep in mind, ain't nobody rioted yet. Maybe people will, maybe they won't. Ain't nobody rioted yet. We got people who were, like when I was listening to the Lincoln Ware show this morning, and Lincoln started his show fussing about people out there tearing up their own neighborhoods and burning down the pharmacy, and then you can't go get medicine the next day. I was thinking, did I sleep? Is it Saturday? Did I sleep through Friday? And I woke up and I just think it's Friday, but it's actually Saturday. And they released the video, and Lincoln is doing a special Lincoln Ware show on Saturday, the day after they released the video. And people were out last night looting and burning down buildings. Like, what? I slept. It was crazy. I can't believe it. Because he was mad as if it's already happened. He was fussing at imaginary people doing imaginary things that haven't happened yet. And I'm like, why are you mad at? Who are you mad at? And why are you more mad at the people responding to police violence than you are at the people perpetrating police violence? I don't understand that. Y'all mad at the people who are mad at the people who did wrong, instead of joining them and being mad at the people who did wrong. And again, nothing happened. They ain't even released the video yet. How do you gin up that much anger over something that you think might happen? No reason to be tearing up your neighborhood. It don't make sense. They ain't did nothing. Nothing happened. And then you got all of these right-wing people. No, they're putting plans in place in Cincinnati just in case riots break out. Because you know how they are. They're gonna riot. It's so stupid. What difference does a riot make? It doesn't change anything. It doesn't fix anything. What difference does it make if you go out and you tear stuff up? And I'm thinking, what were you saying on January 7th? On January 7th, you wasn't saying that same stuff. Y'all wasn't. Everybody understood that they gathered. It was supposed to be a peaceful gathering, which it really never was. It was supposed to be a peaceful gathering, and then some people marched to the Capitol, and then their emotions overtook them, and they did things that were totally out of character. Well, then eventually they start saying that it was Antifa who did it. And then it was just some radicals who did it. But initially everybody was on board with it and making excuses for why it was okay and then why it wasn't that bad. And, you know, we've kind of gone back and forth like, oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. Okay, wait a minute. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Well, it was horrible. It was horrible. Well, it really wasn't. It was more like a guided tour than anything else. Is being blown out of proportion. Oh no, it was horrible. It was horrible. Those people are political prisoners, and something should happen to help them. Like, none of this vacillation happens when it's black people justifiably upset because police killed an unarmed black man. You never hear that commentary. Well, look, the reason that they were there, that's the problem. That's what we need to be talking about. And, okay, they were protesting and they probably went to peacefully protest, and then their emotions kind of spilled over. And it's understandable. You never hear that. That's commentary that you don't hear. You heard it when it was white people. Y'all know all these years I've been saying If it was white people, they wouldn't respond this way. And there's always somebody to say, how do you know what they would say if it was white people? Because it wasn't white people. And then something else would happen, and, protests would then erupt into violence. And I would be like, if it was white people, they wouldn't handle them that way. How do you know what they would do? They wasn't white people. You can't say what they would do. Okay. This has been going on for years and years and years and years and years. Well, then white people did it. And then I was saying, you know what they would be doing if it was black people? Well, you can't say that because it wasn't black people. I'm sorry. We have an example of how they react to both. You can't use that no more. And nobody was hollering and screaming mad at those white people. Well, except for us, because, again, we knew that it would have been handled differently. And, again, they were just mad. Like, look at the reasons. My candidate didn't win. My candidate didn't win. Versus, they killed that unarmed black man. He's dead. He's dead. Ain't no coming back from that. And we know they gonna do it again. Because they're not changing the system. See, to me, it's not about, and this is just to me, it's not about, well, they were arrested. Because they were, but some of them are already out of jail. It's not about, oh, well, they were arrested. Oh, they're charged. Oh, the police chief said it was the worst thing ever. Oh, it's being investigated by these people, and it's being investigated by those people. That's fine. That's fine. But like I think Chris Rock would say, so what do you want, a cookie? You did what you're supposed to do. You're doing what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get extra credit for doing what you're supposed to do. Now what are you doing to make sure that never happens again? See, and that's where you're not going to see anything change. Oh, man, on Twitch, thank you. That's where you're not going to see anything change. Oh, the police chief says, I'm going to do an independent investigation. Like I said yesterday, you're the police chief. You can't do an independent investigation. You're part of the system. It's like having a mama investigate her own kids. This is going to be a completely independent investigation. I'm just going to see if my children deserve the worst. No. We're going to look at the way we train. How many of y'all actually believe that? How many of y'all actually believe that? I don't believe nothing's going to change. And it's sad because clearly something needs to change. How do you have 5 people? And again, I haven't seen the video. It hasn't been released yet. I'll look at it later on. How do you have 5 people and nobody have enough humanity to say, hey, stop, he done had enough? Or, no. That's not the way we're supposed to do this. That's against the rules. That's against the law. That's against our policy. Remember, 99% of officers are good officers. I mean, that would just mean odds are at least one of those officers, you would at least have, 1 out of 5. At least 1 out of 5 would be like, hey, no, this is wrong. 99% of officers are good. I mean, just statistically speaking, one of those officers would be good. I don't know. I don't know that I'm one of those people who believe that. Dudes didn't even care that their body cams was still on. Still beat a man to death. Here's why they don't probably care about that, in my humble royal opinion. They don't care about that because they get away with it so often. They get away with it so often. Janice says, yeah, and that includes 2 first responders. Yeah. Because the stories that I'm hearing is that they called in people after they had propped him up and he fell down and propped him up and he fell down and propped him up and he fell down. They called and first responders, the fire truck or whatever, the EMTs, whatever, arrived. And they still didn't do nothing. They didn't render aid for some significant period of time. Again, that's the story that I'm hearing because I haven't seen the video. That's the story that I'm hearing. But they do this stuff because they can get away with it. They know they can get away with it. Look, I'm going to go back to my First Amendment audits, okay? I'll go back to my First Amendment audits. Here's what I see happen a number of times on these audits. Police will do things they know they don't have any business doing. And these auditors will say to them, what's your name and your badge number? And sometimes they'll give it to them. And they'll say, and if you want to make a complaint, the office is at so-and-so and so, and they'll give them the address. And they'll say, and my sergeant is so-and-so and so-and-so. Well, you know you're going to get in trouble. And they'll say, no, I won't. Well, you know you violated my rights. And they'll say, and if I did? Yes, I've seen them say that on video, on their own, with their own body cams on. And if I did? What do you think is going to happen? Because they know nothing is going to happen. So they understand I can catch myself on body cam violating your rights, and you can go complain, and you know what's going to happen to me? Nothing. They're so used to it. They're so used to it. I mean, you just imagine you go to work and you do whatever the worst thing that you can do at the job. I don't know what your job is, but whatever the worst thing is that you can do at your job, you do it. Probably the first time you like, oh man, I'm in trouble. And then you go to the office and HR or your supervisor or whatever, and they like, you know that was wrong, don't you? And you like, yeah, it was wrong. And they like, all right, we'll figure it out. Go back to work. And you walk out like, oh my goodness, I got away with one. I got away with one. Whew. And then you do it again. And you like, oh, this is my second time. I know I'm going to get in trouble this time. Go to the office and the supervisor or HR be like, that's all right. We can bury this one. Don't worry about it. They don't even tell you, stop doing that shit. They just, we'll bury this one. And you do it again. And next time you go to the office, you ain't even really all that worried. You're like, I'm a little nervous because this is my third time doing this. It might be one of those 1, 2, 3 strikes and you out. And they like, all right, we got you. We'll cover for you. Don't worry about it. No, he can lie about this. He'll say this happened, and then she'll say that happened, and then they'll say that this happened. And look, the boss don't really care anyway, so don't worry about it. eventually you just start doing that kind of whenever you feel like it. And then you don't even really go to the office. You just walk past the office like, yeah, I did that thing again. Like, all right, we got you. And you just keep on moving. That's the way that these officers, some of these officers do. They do this stuff so much. They violate rights, break rules, policies, laws so much that it just become a thing. Yeah, I did it again. Now, that's all right. We got you. And then you look up, and for whatever reason, somebody make a big deal about it. And you know what they'll do at your job. If it get to that point, sorry, we got to let you go. Look. This one we can't cover up. It's got too much attention, so we can't cover this one up. So, I'm sorry, but we got to let you go. And kind of in police speak, that mean, a lot of times what that mean is, go ahead and voluntarily retire or step down, and, then you can go work for some other department. We're going to give you an opportunity to step down. Just quietly step down. I know somebody over in Evendale, and, they'll hook you up with a job. Just when you get over there, keep your head down. Don't bring no extra attention to you. Don't be over there in Evendale shooting unarmed black men. And eventually, it'll go away. Don't worry about it. I got you. That's usually the way it happens. But then, every once in a while something gets so big and it's so egregious that you end up with a Derek Chauvin. But how many Derek Chauvins have we ended up with? When you think all of the police departments around the United States of America, large ones, small ones, medium-sized ones, Andy and Barney, you know what I'm saying? How many Derek Chauvins do we have? So again, statistically speaking, I can kill somebody, get away with it, and I should be okay. But you caught it on body cam. How many people we done killed on body cam? All we got to do is come up with a reason why we stopped him, and then come up with a reason why we fear for our life. That's it. Everybody know that's the magic answer. Why'd you stop him? You feared for your life. You good. But every once in a blue moon, situation comes up where, no, somebody got to pay. And these guys might, because again, we've seen the trick here in Cincinnati. We've seen the trick. Charge him with murder. Try him a couple times, hang a jury, and then have a judge dismiss the charges. We've seen that right here. Oh, yeah. They got charged. That was a chicken shit traffic stop anyway. And this was the worst thing, whole press conference. We saw it. We ran through this whole thing. Y'all remember that? It was a chicken shit stop. And there was no reason for him to shoot that guy. I mean, he murdered him. He just point blank shot him in the head. It was horrible. Should have never happened. We're charging him. This is the worst thing ever. And what did he get convicted of again? So we've seen this game play out. So the idea that, he's arrested and he's charged. What else do you want? Well, first you want a conviction. You want some significant time. And you want to see some changes, some real changes in the system. And then I heard people like, oh, but don't you think that these guys feel bad enough? Like, really? That's how we judging things? Again, I was listening to right-wing radio. That's how we judge things now? Does he feel bad enough? Oh, then let him go home. Is that how we do it now? Can I go rob a bank, shoot a teller, and then be like, but I feel so bad? And they be like, okay, well, you feel bad enough. Go on. Keep the money. You feel bad. We understand. You got to live with yourself. Go home. No, that ain't how that worked. That's never been how that worked. That's how it worked for some people, I guess. I mean, you know how you have to feel when you killed a person? I think, they kind of go home and they feel all right. They sleep just fine. They justify it all. In their minds, they justify it all. They do. I've seen Officer Roach once or twice, and I've seen him on TV. And not one time does that man ever look like he lost even a minute of sleep, except for when he actually thought he might be convicted of a crime. Other than that, he looked like he pretty okay with what he did. I remember seeing, was it Caton and Jorg? They looked like they was okay. Like they slept okay. They didn't look, tired, stressed, none of that kind of stuff. They looked all right. And yeah, wasn't that the ones who killed Owensby? Wasn't that Caton and Jorg? And anybody else remember they story? One of them said, yeah, I choked him, but I choked him after he had already beat him to death. The other one said, well, yeah, I beat him, but I beat him after he had already choked him to death. Y'all remember that? I remember that. And they didn't look like they was sleeping bad at all. They actually looked quite confident. Ain't nothing gonna happen to us. So now they don't feel bad. Or at least that hasn't really been my experience that they feel bad. Go back and read up on that case. Go back and read up on that case. And if I'm misremembering this thing, somebody tell me. I don't remember which did the choking and which did the beating. But I remember, not verbatim, but I remember that being their defense. I choked him, but only after he had already beat him to death. Well, I beat him, but only after he had already choked him to death. I remember that. So, yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be, keep my eyes open. And what was it? It's 6 o'clock Central Time, right? Which would be, 7 o'clock our time, right? That's what they're saying. 6:30 Central Time. Or is that, I don't know. I'll have to look again when I get off the air. This is why this is systemic, not always racial, because it was black cops beating a black man to death. But we concerned about, we are more concerned. When I say we, I mean right wing, white, and some kind of loony black people. We are more concerned now with what the reaction is going to be once the video is released than we are or ever were about how wrong it was that what happened. We are already mad at the people who in our imaginations are going to riot. We are madder at them than the people who have already murdered someone. LaDonna says, I don't think they're an hour behind us. No, I don't think that. I was listening somewhere and they said 6 Central. So not necessarily that that's their time zone, but that was when they said. They could have been wrong, but that was what they said. And I haven't read it the exact time, so that was what I was going on. Oh, yeah, that's how he started the show. Myosha said, I didn't listen to Lincoln today, but I can't believe he's already thinking folks going to riot. Yeah, that's how he started the show. Angela says, Memphis is Central. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. LaDonna said she thinks they are an hour behind. I thought you said that they're not. My bad. I misread it because, I'm barely literate. 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. I didn't know he was either. Yeah, that's the number to get on board. I'll check it out tonight. I don't know if I'll go live. I got a long day tomorrow. I got a number of things that I'm already committed to. I know 6 o'clock ain't that late, but I also have other stuff to do. But we'll see. I won't commit to it, but I won't rule it out. I might see it and be so upset that I gotta go on and talk about it. So just make sure your notifications are on. And everybody's talking about the video. Again, when I say everybody, I was listening to right wing radio. And they were talking about Pelosi's husband. Apparently they released a video of Pelosi's husband getting whacked over the head with a hammer. I haven't seen it. Do we have to go in the room if you do go live? I don't know. If I go live, I don't know if I'll do it. I might just do it in the room. That might be the thing. I'll do it in the room. So if I go live, then I'll be in the room, and then you got to come in the afternoon experiment room to get the extra stuff. I got some extra stuff for you in the room. Don't you want to come in the room? Oh, yes, the lab. Come on in the lab. LaDonna say, where's the room? The afternoon experiment If you search the afternoon experiment on Facebook, or even if you just go to my page, I put a link on there. There's a link on my page to the room or to the lab. There's a link on my page to the lab. And that's where you can go. Hold on, let me see something. All right, let's see. We're gonna delete that. Here, I'm gonna walk you out here. I'm gonna try. Let's do this. Go here. It's because I care about y'all. So I'm on Facebook, and I just go to the top, and I search the after, if I spell it right, experiment, enter. And the first page that comes up says the afternoon experiment. And then I click on it, and bam, it's right there. See how simple that was? Y'all see how simple that was? The afternoon experiment. I be trying to make it simple for y'all. I do, I promise. And it's like 6 people in there right now. Who gets to come into the room? Anybody who click to follow. I think you click on follow, don't you? Yeah, you click follow. And you can come on in the room. Janet says, I can even do that. That's as simple as that. When you click follow, it'll be there. And Daryl says, what room? Oh, I'm not going to keep on explaining this daggone thing over and over. 513-717-5464. What else happened this week? I have to be honest. That's really the main thing that I'm thinking about today. I know there are a lot of other things going on. But I just, I can't lie. I'm really kind of anticipating this video. And it's not because I like to see nobody get beat to death. I'm really not all that excited about watching it. I wish these things didn't happen. And they say that the young man just kept saying, what did I do? What did I do? He just wanted to know what he did. Ben says you love chaos. Stop it. Look, you might like seeing somebody killed. I mean, that based on your political philosophy, that works out well for your side. But no, man. No. If we could live in a world where, none of this stuff happened, people just dealt with people honestly and with integrity the way they're supposed to, I would be happy. And it's funny because a lot of this stuff, like, people, well, let me just speak for me. I would really love to not have these kind of conversations. I would love for life to be such that all we had to do in terms of talk and talk radio was, if we were dealing with quality of life issues, like some people have, we talking about stuff like, how can we get equality and equity? How can we get assistance? How can we be connected to assistance? Not assistance for growing our businesses. I mean, some people are talking about that, but we're talking about, how can we get assistance so that we ain't starving to death and living on the street? Assistance. And how can we have access to that assistance? Those are the things that we talking about. Crystal says, I was over there already and you didn't pop on until I came to your personal page, and I'm sharing from this page now. Okay. Crystal says, I'm here. All right. Thank you. David want to know who in that room. Angela says, these young men were all in the same age range, so to me, their occupation is a side issue. I think they just did regular in stuff and happened to be in law enforcement. I don't know about that. Okay, yes, but and no. I don't know that whatever would have come to that, they would have had that ability and that access to do it in that way if they were not involved in law enforcement. Law enforcement, the fact that they were in law enforcement, more likely than not, made them feel comfortable that they could do what they did and get away with it. More likely than not. Daryl says, I missed your answer. What room are we talking about? We're talking about the afternoon experiment. On Facebook and on YouTube, there are pages titled The Afternoon. Actually, on Facebook, I think it's just The Afternoon Experiment. On YouTube, it's The Afternoon Experiment with Emanuel Livingston. So that you don't necessarily have to go to my personal page to see the show. And one of the reasons why this was done was because once, if it ever happens again that they send me to Facebook jail, that won't stop me from doing the show. So just go to the lab. I think there was a personal problem and they rolled up on him using their authority. I've heard that too. But I don't know. Crystal, subscribed on YouTube. Thank you. You know, black folk got to know who in the room before they go in the room. Oh, yeah. It reminds me of that gospel song. Come on in the room. Let's see. David thinks he's in both rooms. You don't need no secret code to get in the room. Hold on, my attention seeker. Skipping my comment. All those ends in political power in Memphis let this happen. Now just people. You go to any city in America. Any city in America. Whether it's... And that's why, the stuff that you try to do is sad. It's just sad. You can go to any city in America, whether that city is led by Democrats, Republicans, white people, black people, Latino people. They got an issue. Their law enforcement got issues. It is a problem of a law enforcement problem. And again, I'm not saying it's every law enforcement official. But it's a law enforcement problem. It's not a Republican problem. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not a black problem. It's not a white problem. So trying to trick people, here's the logic behind that comment for those of y'all who don't know. Why I'm spending a little bit of time on it. The logic behind it is, A, Democrats are the problem. So since Democrats are the problem, you should vote for Republicans. But if you don't want to vote for Republicans, that's fine. Democrats are the problem, so you definitely shouldn't vote for Democrats. So if the only person that you would consider voting for is a Democrat, you probably just shouldn't vote. That's the ridiculous logic behind the stuff that he's saying. Samuel says, I think there's confusion between law enforcement and paramilitary. There is, I don't want to say confusion. Confusion is, I guess, a decent word. The issue becomes, at least in my mind, that paramilitary and law enforcement get intertwined. So a lot of these organizations think that in order to enforce laws, we have to become a paramilitary organization. And it's just not the case. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And again, I have to keep saying it. And I don't keep saying it because I have to keep saying it. I keep saying it because I really do want to stress it. That it is not all law enforcement officials who act like this. It's not. But it's way too many who either act like this or are okay with others acting like that. Jenna says, not that it matters, but it would be interesting to find out why each of these 5 black men all decided to beat that man to that degree on that day. What happened to them? I don't know whether or not we ever figure that out. I mean, there's a really good chance, even if this does go to trial, they won't testify. So they're never going to be like, look, here's why we beat the F out of him. That's just an answer that will probably never come out. So there'll be rumors about stuff. But just like Chauvin, there's a rumor about some stuff with him. But Derek Chauvin's never going to come out and say, you know, the reason why I put my knee on that man's neck and killed him, because it was this woman who, well, I worked at this club and then I had a run in with. That's never going to happen. Just never going to happen. But why are they so angry? Because they're kind of taught to be angry. When I listen to myself, like if I step outside of myself and I just listen, it sounds like I don't like police. But that's not the case. That's not the case. I mean, I've talked to a lot of police. Good afternoon, Logic Slayer. I've talked to a lot of police officers. A lot of them. I mean, a lot of them. I've had arguments / conversations. I've had conversations / something else. I've talked to a lot of police. I had heart-to-hearts with them, the whole nine. And sometimes we really get deep into it. Sometimes, you know, they open up and they share different things. Sometimes they just so guarded and angry with me for even questioning. But I don't now, and I probably never will, have an issue if I run into a law enforcement official who's open to having a conversation with me, having a conversation with them. Y'all might watch me, listen to me, and I seem like really antagonistic. I've heard that I come off that way. But if you sit down with me and have a one-on-one conversation with me, I just talk to people. Not just police. I will talk to anyone about anything. Well, almost. I will talk to almost anyone about almost anything. I'm saying all of that to say I've had a lot of conversations with law enforcement. Of course, they're not going to share everything. But I like to think I'm like wise enough to glean certain things that they won't share from conversations that I have with them. And one of the things that I've learned, and this is across the board from just about every law enforcement official that I've talked to, friend, family, foe, and everything in between. Because there are a couple police officers in Cincinnati Police Department, who hate my guts. Number of them have never met me, but they hate my guts. And sometimes I meet them and then I talk to them. And this is the one thing that I would say is almost universal. Police are taught that it's us, law enforcement, against the civilians. It's law enforcement against the civilians. They're taught that civilians lie, civilians cheat, civilians steal. More than anything, civilians don't like you, and civilians want to harm you. They're legit. They are taught this. So when they come out in uniform and all that kind of stuff, a lot of them genuinely feel that way. They're constantly on guard, and they're taught to look at everyone as a threat. I understand some of the reason why it happened, but it's honestly how they're taught. Everyone is a threat. If they're not a police officer, they're a threat. So, because you're a threat, I'm taught I have to exercise authority over you to control situations. I have to control you and any situation regarding you that I'm around or in. And if you assert your rights or anything like that, you now become more of a threat. Because they're not used to people doing that. I'm not saying that's what happened in this case. I don't know what happened in this case. I ain't seen the video. But they're not used to, because they're used to using that command presence, raising their voice when they tell you, get on the ground. They're used to people just getting on the ground. Put your hands up. They used to you putting your hands up. If you don't, you want the voice go up and the commands become much more, put your fucking hands in the air. You know, they go bonkers. You are not supposed to not do what they tell you to do, when they tell you to do it, and how they tell you to do it. That's just the way it is. And when you go against that, that makes them angry. Because you're already against them. You're their enemy. And now you're their enemy and you're not doing what they told you to do, and they've been taught that they are the ultimate authority out on them streets. There's nothing hyperbolic about what I'm saying. Nothing. Nothing. They are the authority out on them streets. The ultimate authority out on them streets. And how dare you flaunt my ultimate authority? No. Nothing. Nothing. It's 100% true. That's what they're taught, and that's how they act. That's how they respond. And that's why they so angry. Because you're their enemy when they're in uniform. You're their enemy. And what the heck is going on? Okay, got. Wait, hold on. Hi Russia. I'm not. If you're from Russia, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, Sierra, you can see clips of training videos on YouTube. I'm a guess. What, Troy? Are you in law enforcement? I'm just asking. I'm guessing you are, but I'm asking at the same time. Are you in law enforcement? And I mean, then you add on top of that, just being human. Just being human. So if I feel like you my enemy, and I have, to kind of quote Jerica, ultimate power and control over you out here on these streets, and then you add to that, and I'm having a bad day, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for disaster. Troy, please. Ben says, you get people killed by police or kill people behind or kill police behind your conclusion. What conclusion? I'm just telling you the truth. Look, y'all know it's a us against them mentality out there. If you don't know that, like CK said, which I didn't know this to be true. Remember when Officer Roach was under fire for killing an unarmed black man? And they made him Officer of the Year? That wasn't because he was the best officer that year. That's because it's us against them. And if they coming for one of us, we're going to stand with him. He's our Officer of the Year. That's where things like that come from. Crystal says, I hate District 5. I went inside to file a complaint, and those guys told me to get out. I almost went to jail for cussing them out. I couldn't believe it. Straight racist. They didn't give a damn. I eventually did take care of the situation. Hold on. But I had to go downtown, and I told the judge what they said to me. He just apologized. Kenneth says, America rewards its killers. Lewis says, hold on. Sorry. Where is Lewis? Not once, but 2-time Officer of the Year. Myosha says, I thought he got Officer of the Year because the chief didn't want to make him feel bad and to boost morale. Well, yeah, to boost morale. But again, that's the same thing I'm saying. Everybody coming against you. Everybody want to see you taken down. You know what? F them. You are the Officer of the Year. And I can just hear the roar in the police station. Yeah! Ah! Yay! Clapping all hard. I can hear it. That's a big F you to them. Who are they to come after one of ours? It's exactly what that is. Jerica says, consider this. Many of the black officers only feel that they possess power when they are in uniform. Otherwise, they are treated like you, run-of-the-mill black man. LaDonna says, where is he now? In Evendale? I believe he's still in Evendale. Ben wants to know who controls the police. Nobody. The police control the police. Who do you think controls the police? The police control the police. You ever seen when police get mad at politicians and all of that kind of stuff? Have you ever paid attention to the way that they respond? They let politicians know in no uncertain terms who in control. They don't have a problem letting them know who's in control. Doug, I believe it was Doug, used to tell a story, and he told it a whole lot of times. I don't remember all the details, but there was something going on in Cincinnati where police were upset with the city government. Police were upset with the city government. They took their patrol cars. What they do, they parked them outside, put the keys in, locked the keys in the car, and, went in as a show of force to let them know you ain't running nothing. We do what we want to do. How many stories have we heard about police officers threatening mayors and all of that kind of stuff? How many stories have we heard about that? Janice says, I remember that. Yeah, they don't run the police. The police run the police. It's a system. It comes from that racist White House. Oh, my goodness. Oh. It is a system. That I'll give you. I don't know that it comes from the racist White House. But again, I'm interested. I'll watch the video. I may or may not come back on and talk about the video tonight or tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. I guess the point of all of this is arresting those 5 guys, firing them, is almost nothing. It's almost nothing. Because you got to see, number one, does it actually go to trial? Do they get convicted? If they get convicted, do they get some real time? Renita says, I'm not seeing the comments you're reading. The comments are all coming up on the side of the screen. But if you don't see them, don't worry about it. Just trust that I'm telling you what I'm telling you is coming from comments that people are saying. Just trust me. I'm the king of talk. I wouldn't lie. There's multiple pages, Renita. Multiple pages. Hold on, let me see. I got a call coming in. Let me do this, and Brent.
Yes, or that. Hey, what's going on, Emanuel?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Just headed down the highway with my sons here, so I apologize in advance if this call gets dropped.
All right.
But we are headed down to San Antonio.
Oh.
You know what's happening tomorrow down in San Antonio?
I don't.
The Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, and it just so happens to coincide. I officially turned 50, so my wife and boys got me a Christmas/birthday gift. So just me and the boys are catching up with my best man down there and his sons, and we are going to get there and yell 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 about goodness 50 some odd times. So they don't do it for the first 2 weeks.
Can y'all just for me, just pay attention to the time on the clock and yell it with the time? That'd be my biggest frustration. They'd be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd be like, it's only on 3. How do y'all not see the clock?
Oh, just like you're at a college basketball game and the shot clock is winding down and the student section is trying to get the other team to shoot quickly. Yeah. Hey, well, I will do my best to make sure that happens, because it's all about, I don't care about the women's Rumble match.
No.
But it's all about the men's match, and the men's Royal Rumble match is who are going to be the people that make a special appearance. You always have a legend come back.
Oh, yeah.
So, my favorite all time is Ernest the Cat Miller when he came out there with Lamont and danced until Chris Benoit and Orton came and beat him up and threw him out of the ring. That was so hilarious.
Okay, who you got winning?
who do I got winning? Oh, it's going to be Dusty's little boy, Cody.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't, and he'll wind up going after the Raw champion. I don't even know who's the Raw champion. But I think, what would be the shock of the night if they had a legend come back who was a Cincinnati native, specifically a Hawaiian Valley Wrestling Association all-time great, gorgeous Rick Rhodes should make an appearance.
They do be reaching out to some of the independents, and I would tell you this: if they reached out and asked for gorgeous Rick Rhodes to come out of retirement and enter the Royal Rumble, I'm pretty sure gorgeous Rick Rhodes would do it.
All right. Well, now that Vince McMahon is back and how he just bogart and took back control and kicked out the people that told him to go on hiatus, man,
Yes,
that joker's straight up gangster.
Yes, he did.
I see why him and Trump are good friends, because both of them got the same mentality. But
now, hold on. Let me ask you this, Brent. How old are the boys?
Yeah. Oh, my son, 24. 24? Oh, good Lord. 22 and 17.
Oh, man, them good times. Good times.
Yeah, and 5 years ago we went to WrestleMania when it was here at Jerry's World. So they've been able to see all the events that me and my best man went to when we were, back before both of us had children. So, just to go full circle where we could take our sons and see the excitement on their face and everything, that's what it's all about.
And you've been taking them for how long?
Well, no, we went to WrestleMania.
No, I'm saying, but how long have you been taking them to wrestling matches?
Oh man, it's been at least since they were, I think when was the youngest? I'm sorry, I got my son here trying to figure out, but I think he was about 10 when we went to our first event. So that's like the perfect age to where they, still want to, wear the belts and get all geeked up. And I remember when my youngest son was 8 years old, I asked him who his favorite wrestler was, and without fail, he said John Cena, and I was like, I failed as a father.
Yes, I was just about to say, you failed as a father. I don't. But we've been going to events, and what's good around here is that they have a bunch of independent wrestling matches here. So we've even gone to ones down, it's about an hour away, to where the promoters, it looked like a white dude just got off a farm tractor with, Farmer Brown's on. And the matches are going on, and he see me coming in, and he talking, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, well, I guess it's okay. But it's in the middle school gym with tile floor. Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when the bad guys came out there, we're boo, boo. And even with the managers, and it is so hilarious. And even the manager, we're going back and forth. And after he went ahead and left, he gave me the thumbs up. I'm like, hey, it's all a part of the fun. And I know that's helping you once you go to the next level. So it's all good. So it's all about the fan interaction and the back and forth. So,
oh, yeah.
And to know that his wife's like, oh, yeah, I used to do all the roads and everything for all the WCCW, the Von Erichs and everything. She did all their roads and everything. I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like fun, man. You and those young men go and have an amazing time. I will be watching at some point, and man, it's just good old-fashioned fun, and especially for them to have been doing it since 10, and now they're basically grown men. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, except my 17-year-old doesn't even have a permit, so I should be sleeping here, riding shotgun, and just wake up, and them tap me and saying, we're here. So, but I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
Brent, hey, I appreciate your call.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, you do the same. I remember those times. I remember taking my son. I remember taking my little brother-in-law to the wrestling matches here in Cincinnati and just having a amazing time. And it is funny because not too long ago, my son was like, when are we going to go to another wrestling match? So, yeah, and he's, how old is he now? Like 30? So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. CK,
Blessed be the Lord.
Word.
Oh my God! Did you hear that last caller?
I did. I was talking to him.
Hey, ain't that what life all about? Fun. Fun.
That is a big part of it.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Come on, man. We had children just to reset the clock, so we could, you know what I mean? Go through all that, or you know, take them and do stuff you couldn't do as a youngster. You know what I mean? It was absolutely amazing. Oh man, what in the world, man? That's what I'm talking about, man. I've been out here trying to make it, man. I had to catch you because I knew it was Friday. So I said, let me call Mr. Livingston and check in with him. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And what you said about, you said they was applauding and yelling when they got their office of the year. You said you could hear them.
Oh, you know they were.
Imagine how they were.
Yeah.
But I feel somebody like yourself, you might be gracious if they try to give you office of the year for killing somebody. It's a possibility you might turn it down. Am I right?
I would definitely not accept, because I think if I had to kill someone, like I was actually just thinking about this the other day. I'm not going to say why, but I was thinking if somebody came busting in my house, it wouldn't be no big problems. I would just have to call the police and tell them, you know, bring the men to take the body. But
the coroner.
But I wouldn't feel good about it. Like, I wouldn't feel guilty about it. But then if somebody wanted to, you know, say the mayor said, hey, we heard somebody broke in your house and that you had to kill them. We want to give you the key to the city. I would be like, I don't want no key to the city because I had to kill somebody. I wouldn't, like you said, I would not accept that. No, thank you. I don't feel bad about it, but I don't want to celebrate it. No.
But then you don't look at it different. You're going to be like, now, last year when I saved 4 children out of the house fire and saved that old lady, they ain't give me office of the year. But I killed a black man, now they want to give me office of the year. You be looking at it crazy like, man, you have to be gracious and turn down those type of, because, it's trauma. You ended somebody's life. That's something you got to live with. Well, you don't want a trophy reminding you of you killing somebody, right?
But I think if you're a decent human and you haven't been brainwashed into believing it's us versus them, then that's the way you look at it. It's trauma. But if you believe it's us versus them, then you just feel like I took out one of the, like how you hear the military guys when they talk about killing people in the military, in a war or whatever. It's that same mentality. Like, they feel proud of it. And that's sometimes I think that's how some law enforcement officials feel.
Especially when you kill an unarmed person, like they was reaching for their phone and you killed them. You don't want no officer of the year for that. You like, this is a mistake. I don't want to be rewarded for accidentally killing somebody.
Well,
I can see, maybe like you said.
I can't remember exactly where it was, but there was an officer who killed an unarmed person. He genuinely thought that they had a gun, and it wasn't a gun. It didn't end up being a gun, and he shot them. I think they died, but he felt so bad. He stepped down. He quit. He retired from the police force because that wasn't what he got into it for. Where, like you said, other people, they're proud of it. Like, I would imagine if that were me and I killed an unarmed black man, especially an unarmed child, he had a toy gun and I killed him. I don't know that I would be able to. I would have to quit. I couldn't live with that.
Yeah, because you got the demons you see in that child's face every night when you go to sleep. It's like, and I know you talk to some police officers that have been on the job 30 years and they ain't never even had to pull their gun out once. You talked to some of them before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know you ain't got to kill nobody. You've been on here 30 years. Well, like, hold on.
Well, I mean, look, different people do encounter different situations. I don't have any animosity towards a law enforcement official who somebody pulls a gun on them and, they're defending their life. I have no animosity towards an officer who has to discharge their weapon. I don't think that makes you a bad officer.
No, you doing what you have to do. But like you said, if you out here helping somebody, like it might be a hostage situation, and you take out the culprit, then okay, you might deserve Officer of the Year if you just saved lives, but not for accidentally killing somebody or accidentally on purpose killing somebody. Sometimes they do it like that.
Yeah.
It's a mere right situation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But you gotta you gotta keep your moral fibers. Keep your moral fibers at all times.
Yes, all of them.
Yeah. 'Cause you don't want, because like you said, you got to go to sleep with the victim on your brain. And I'm telling you, man, you will never be able to sleep knowing you killed a little 12-year-old boy at the park playing. Because I think they knew he wasn't a threat when they pulled the trigger. They just knew this a free kill. It's like, I know he ain't no threat, but I can get away with it. With the mere right situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. You got anything else?
Hey, man, just keep hope alive, as Honorable Jesse. And, I did want to ask you, did you hear about Dr. King, his mother?
No.
Dr. King's mother?
No.
Did you know she was assassinated?
No.
She got assassinated in Atlanta, Georgia, at the piano after singing the Lord's Prayer in church by a Hebrew Israelite. This is why we have to teach Black history in school. How we didn't know that? This happened in 1974, Mr. Livingston. Murdered her in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, I'm going to keep dropping facts on you that you should know, but you don't know, because they don't keep putting it in the education system. And remember that.
And I'll look it up.
Yeah, she got murdered at the piano.
I don't know why. I think I vaguely remember hearing something about that, but I'll look it up just to double check. But I vaguely remember hearing something about that. Now, I don't know why you're bringing it up today. I'm not against you bringing it up today. But I don't know.
Oh, I always drop them facts. I got to drop facts on you because that's something that, you would think it would be common knowledge that don't nobody know. Just like I told you about the hostage situation with the thumb. When you had the thumb, that's when they had, I just got to drop facts on you.
All right, so just a random piece of information. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's all about the Black history education. That's why they don't want to teach it. They don't want to teach you that Dr. King's mother was assassinated. Not only was he assassinated, but after his mother was assassinated. My gosh. And I'm glad he wasn't here to see that, because that was devastating.
All right.
You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Praise the Lord.
All right. CK, I appreciate you.
Have a wonderful day.
You do the same.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I want to say I don't remember any of the details, but I do remember vaguely hearing something about that. I don't know any of the details. He said it was by a Hebrew Israelite. I don't remember hearing that, but I do vaguely remember. But hey, I don't know everything. And anybody who want to call and give me some information, I would appreciate that. Troy, yeah, I'm right. I'm with you. I think he's right. I'm not sure why he said it today. He said he just like to drop facts. Yeah. Ross Freeman says, Emanuel don't know shit. But to hear people tell it, I think I know everything. You can't have it. You can't have it both ways. Emanuel don't know nothing. Emanuel think he know everything. You can't have it both ways. I know some stuff, and then there's some other stuff that I don't know. Okay. I don't feel ashamed about that at all. Ask him if he knew Dr. King's brother died in a pool mysteriously. All right. I did not know that either. So, all right. Daryl says, yeah, Dr. King's mother killed in a church and his brother accidentally drowned in a swimming pool. He was murdered too. Tessie says she was shot and killed, and he was said to be Hebrew Israelite. All right. So again, I have to look that up and read the story, read the information for myself. All right, y'all, I got to get out of here though. I believe Wyatt is coming on. I hadn't heard that he wasn't. And either way, I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I really do. Again, don't forget, go over to the other page, to the lab. They don't like it when I call it the afternoon experiment room. So Sierra said I can call it the lab. Go over to the lab. On Facebook, just look up the afternoon experiment. Go there, click follow. When you get there, I think they got a notification thing. Click the notifications. All right? Over on YouTube, look up the afternoon experiment with Emanuel Livingston. It's its own page. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and click all. All right? So do that. Have an amazing weekend. As a matter of fact, I hope something amazing happens to you this weekend. Something life-changing. This has been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I appreciate y'all's support. Until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.